Hi everyone, I'm John Rennie and welcome to the Boneyard. Very sadly, we lost artist David Lynch earlier this year, and as the memories and emotional fan tribute showed, he was a great inspiration to artists all over the world. In tribute, this episode, I ask what movies influenced the master of the surreal himself. Let's take a look at 5 movies that David Lynch called his favorites, beginning with Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, 1954. This cinematic classic has had a profound influence on numerous filmmakers, shaping the way suspense, voyeurism, and visual storytelling are approached in all of cinema. Scarface director Brian De Palma has openly acknowledged Hitchcock's impact, particularly in films like Body Double from 1984, which mirrors Rear Window's themes and story of voyeurism and paranoia. And renowned filmmaker David Fincher cites Rear Window as one of his personal favourite movies. Fincher said, "It's not just about getting a performance, it's also about the psychology of the cinematic moment and the psychology of the presentation of that window." The enduring legacy of Rear Window continues to shape contemporary cinema, proving Hitchcock's mastery of visual storytelling remains timeless. Let's hear David Lynch's thoughts on this incredibly influential movie.
There's something so cozy about that film. And James Stewart's apartment and Grace and Thelma Ritter, they're kind of great people coming in and out of this, place. Then the characters around apartment buildings and a mystery starts. It's, really a beautiful idea.
Number 2 on the list is Billy Wilder's Hollywood noir fever dream, Sunset Boulevard, 1950. Lynch cited Sunset Boulevard as a key influence on his work, particularly Mulholland Drive, which similarly explores themes of fading stardom, broken dreams, illusion, and obsession. Lynch has described the film as a treasure, praising its dreamlike descent into psychological turmoil, horror, violence, and surprisingly, black comedy, which is also a key theme of Lynch's work.
Get Gordon Cole.
Federal Bureau of Investigation, Regional Bureau Chief Gordon Cole.
Martin Scorsese, known for his deep appreciation of classic Hollywood, has praised Sunset Boulevard for its daring narrative structure and biting critique of the industry. Seeing on Wilder's death, he was our last great link to the old classic Hollywood cinema. I only wish he could have had more time. Sunset Boulevard is one of the most incisive commentaries on Hollywood's obsession with youth and fame. Its portrayal of Norma Desmond, a tragic relic of the silent film era, remains a powerful symbol of the industry's tendency to discard talents heartlessly once their appeal has fallen to the wayside. Traumatic themes that were explored very recently in an Oscar-nominated film in which Demi Moore's disembodied head crawls out under the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
The eyes, have they forgotten what a star looks like? I'll show them. I'll be up there again, so help me.
Now, at over 70 years old, Billy Wilder's Sunset Boulevard continues to find new audiences with its rich tapestry of noir and black comedy, serving as a cautionary tale and a cinematic benchmark for exploring the dark side of fame. David Lynch said in a 2011 interview, "I think I might have screened Sunset Boulevard by Billy Wilder early on for the crew before we started shooting Eraserhead. Sunset Boulevard just has the greatest mood. You're immersed in it like a dream. It catches a Hollywood story that connects the golden age of Hollywood with the present day, but it's a truthful movie, and so it carries through to today. It has a lot of sadness in it, and beauty, and mystery, and dreams. Beauty, 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 and more dreams."
There's nothing else. Just us. And the cameras. And those wonderful people out there in the dark.
Number 3, Monsieur Hulot's Holiday, directed by the great comedic craftsman Jacques Tati in 1953. This movie has significantly influenced numerous comedians and filmmakers with its unique blend of visual comedy and subtle social commentary. British comedian Rowan Atkinson, the creator of the beloved Mr. Bean character, which I loved as a child, cited Tati as a major inspiration. Reflecting on his influences, Rowan Atkinson said, "I think it was particularly a French comedian called Jacques Tati. I loved his movie, Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. I remember seeing it when I was 17. That was a major inspiration." Tati's legacy as a master of visual storytelling, influencing not only comedians, but also animators and directors who appreciate his works for their subtle humor and their irony. Tati used his signature comedic style to highlight the absurdities of contemporary life, often portraying the disconnect between humanity and the environments that we create for ourselves. And I think this is reflected in Lynch's work, particularly in Eraserhead, and Henry's humorous interactions with his environment. Tati's films too, like Eraserhead, explore themes of alienation in the face of technological advancement, with a focus on how modern times can affect our relationships, behaviors, and traditions. Monsieur Hulot's Holiday is a timeless exploration of human nature and societal quirks, presented through a lens of gentle, observational comedy that today remains as poignant as it is hilarious. Let's hear what David Lynch himself has to say about this great comedic movie.
And so we watched Mr. Hulot's Holiday. And after that, I was a gigantic fan of Jacques Tati. Just think he's a genius in comedy, and comedy with a heart and understanding of human nature, the way it's put together, the timing, the sounds, beautiful work.
Number 4, Stanley Kubrick's Lolita, 1962. Adapting Vladimir Nabokov's controversial novel resulted in a controversial movie for director Stanley Kubrick. On its release, Lolita was met with significant protest due to its provocative subject matter, which led to heavy censorship and a high age rating. Kubrick later reflected that he probably wouldn't have made the film at all had he anticipated the extent of these restrictions that would later be imposed upon his work. Lolita is a work of absurdity, Lynch said. It's an absurd story, but Mason's performance makes the world feel real, and that is the magic of Lolita. Lynch said,
"It's an absurd sort of story, but incredible performances, and it touches on so many truthful things. Humbert is living a totally secret life, and filled with paranoia and all kinds of longings and just suffering."
Hearing these words from the filmmaker himself, that Humbert lives a secret life, tells us the impact that Lolita had on Lynch. In a lot of Lynch's movies, characters have a secret or imaginary life. In Lost Highway, for example, Bill Pullman's character Fred has a second narrative, or psychic fugue, as Lynch calls it, where from his prison cell, he imagines another life for himself to escape his reality. The same could be said of Naomi Watts' dual characters of Betty and Diane in Mulholland Drive. These secret or imaginary lives are a constant in Lynch's work, and we can trace that back to his love of Humbert's secret life in Kubrick's Lolita. Needless to say, Lolita is a film with very adult themes, and if you do wish to check out this movie, it'll be worth doing some reading on the film first, and perhaps checking out a parent's guide before you watch. What's also great about this choice is that later David Lynch found out that Kubrick was also a big fan of his movies.
I was in the hallway at the Lee International Film Studios, and Jonathan Sanger brought two guys up to say hello to me, and they were from working with George Lucas, and they said, "David, yesterday we went to Elstree Studio and we got to meet Kubrick, and And then we were talking to Kubrick, and Kubrick said, how would you fellas like to come up to my house and see my favorite film? And they said, great. And they went up, and Kubrick showed them Eraserhead. I wish I'd met him. I love Kubrick's films.
Have you ever seen any of those, those foreign films?
Yes, frequently.
Number 5 on the list is Georges Franju's The Blood of the Beasts, 1949. This documentary film is a haunting exploration of the brutality of industrial slaughterhouses in post-war Paris. I can't show much of the film here due to its content, but its power is in juxtaposing serene suburban landscapes with the stark violence of the slaughter. Franju's approach was deeply innovative for its time, blending documentary with realism and poetic beauty with surrealistic undertones, which is particularly poignant to David Lynch's work, where he mixes industrial landscapes with incredible beauty, especially in his photography. In Blood of the Beasts, Franju avoided overt moralizing, so the film invites viewers in to grapple with their own discomfort and create their own interpretation of the work, which to me is an unflinching meditation on humanity's capacity for violence. But violence not just towards animals, but as a broader metaphor for human brutality. This unique blending of beauty and horror had a lasting impact on the documentary genre, but also had a big influence on Lynch himself, whose work contains many of the same artistic juxtapositions of beauty and horror. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any other filmmakers' words on Blood of the Beasts, and you won't find it on many other lists of David Lynch's favourites out there. But in conversation, the filmmaker shares his memories of seeing the film as a student and the profound impact that it had on him.
There's this thing called Blood of the Beast, this French film. I saw at AFI one morning, and it was incredible. And two lovers, boy and a girl, arm in arm, are walking, as I recall. I don't know for sure. And they cut from this couple walking down these roads and, here and there, lovers, to the slaughterhouse. Like they had this horse, and this was the old place, man. It was so beautiful. This courtyard, stone walls like 15 feet tall, cobblestone, giant iron grate in the center, all aiming down to this grate, And they bring out this giant white horse, huge. See the steam coming out? Guys are there with these thick aprons and gloves and stuff. And they bring the horse over, and they take this thing, it's like a great giant tube, but it must be cocked or something. So they take this thing and they put it right against the horse's head. Boom! Down it goes.
In Lynch's early work, we can also clearly hear the influence the Franju soundscapes had on him, especially in David Lynch's early short film, The Alphabet. Let's take a look at a film from the very beginning of Lynch's career. And so we come to the end of 5 movies that influenced the incredible work of artist David Lynch. These works show us that he was also fueled by other artists to create and was never secretive about his inspirations. Please join me in saying a fond farewell to Lynch, whose work had a major impact on Hollywood, artists, and filmmakers all over the world. he will be remembered as a true, original artist and a beautiful, creative spirit.
Maybe I do this.
No, I'll do it. It's more fun.
Thanks for joining me here in the Boneyard. Have you seen all the films on the list? Let me know your thoughts about these works in the comments below. If you liked this episode, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you can now check out the Boneyard store for new merch with loads more to come. Take care, everyone out there in the Boneyard, and as always, thank you all so much for listening.